Okay, good morning. Yesterday we started a Sikha in the first Sikha in Chayei, Chelik Chav. So we said in this week's Parsha, we find something very interesting that it speaks about three passings. It speaks about the passing of Sarah, Avram, and Yishmael. Now, by Sarah it says, Mea Shana, Esrim Shana, V'Sheva Shanim. She was 127 years old. Avram was 175 years old. And Yishmael was 137. Now, Rashi says, the question is, on before Shemas, that Rashi tells us by Chayei Sarah, what does it say that we learned in yesterday's Chitas? Mea Shana, Esrim Shana, V'Sheva Shanim. To expound every single cycle had something extraordinary about Sarah. For example, when she was 100 years old, she was like a 20-year-old in sin. When she was 20, she was beautiful like a Sheva Shanim. By Avram, Rashi says that when he was Kof, he was Ayin, he was like a 70-year-old, and he was 70, he was like 5. So, but yet, over there, Rashi only says one thing. It says that when he was, what comes out from Rashi is that it's really one milah, that when he was 100, he was like 70, like a 5-year-old without a sin. And by Yishmael, also says the same thing, Shana, Shana, Shana. Rashi doesn't say anything. So the Rebbe explains like this. The beer is that when Rashi says that every single Shana is teaching us something else, so if Rashi doesn't say it, so Bapashtas already, either he addressed it, or it says it clearly in the pasuk. Now, when Avram Avinu was 100 years old, what did he say? He said, can a 100-year-old have a child? Now, why was it such a wonder? Because, as Rashi says, in the times of Avram, Ismatu Hashanim, and there was a weakness that came into the world. So most people had a child maximum at 70 years old. A person to have a child at 100 is unheard of. So we see as somebody who's 100 already is it's not the norm. So now I can understand when Rashi says that when Avram was Kuf, it was Ka'ayin, he was basically saying, Halaben, I'm 100, I'm not going to be at the stage of a 7-year-old that can have a child. Which means, and I didn't point this out yesterday in the shir, when I was going over the sikha, I missed one kuda. When he's saying, we touch it up as when he was 100, he was like 70, like 5. It's two separate things. When he was 100, he was like a 70-year-old, period. The 5 has nothing to do with the ayin and the kuf. So I'm sorry I didn't point out yesterday. Then, now we can understand why was it that when it came to it says that when Sarah, right, Chadaliyas Sarah Kanashim, so it was the Sarim, it was the important ladies that didn't believe that she can have a child. Why didn't they have a child on Avram Avinu? Because they saw Avram, he was 86 years old, so they knew about that the fact that was 86 and they had Yishmael, so they understood about him that this norm of stopping to have a child at 80, at 70, doesn't apply to him. So they didn't have a shaila. It was only the Litzani Adar that made fun about Avram Avinu.
Clearly the cluster
partner, right.
They let me born by cluster partner. You've actually said that.
Correct, yeah. Okay, so that's basically the kudah we said yesterday. And the last thing we said, that the whole reason of why Bechlal they mentioned Yishmael's years has nothing to do with Yishmael, because Avimelech, or you had, not Avimelech, you had, what's his name, was a Shelach, but it doesn't say Shana Shana because it's not Miyuchas. So why did it say the years of Yishmael? Is to tell us something Miyuchastic about the years of Yaakov. Now we're holding hay. The beer and then, what does that mean? The Shini was given Yishmael zu ben Kuf. It was Shen given Abal Tshuva. Now, the difference by Yishmael, when he was already 100 years old, he was at the level of a Baal Tshuva. As Yishmael Tshuva getan, nach b'chai Avram, Rashi says clearly that Yishmael did Tshuva in the lifetime of Avram. When Yishmael was given 89 yard b'shas misas Avram, and Yishmael was how old when Avram passed away? 89 years old when Avram passed away. When das Bavarn Dasha, this is what Rashi says. Them. Was given about Tshuva, biz as im steht vayigva, right? It uses the expression he expired. It doesn't say he died. Allah shem steht. No, by tzaddikim. This is an expression that says only by tzaddikim. Hat das aber kein Batref, nicht legabe tzidkas von Yaakov. It's telling us that even though Yitzchak was a righteous person, he died as a Baltrima, but you should know, he did not come to the Beatis, to the tzidkas, to the righteousness of Yaakov. So that's what we're saying. So when we say that Yishmael was a Ben Kuf, what we're saying, that even though he was at the level of a Baltrima, but legabe Yaakov, he was nothing, considered nothing. Now, the Mila from Mishleshim is, what's the Mila of a 30-year-old? That is Koidim Zmana Tashus Koyach from the Samach Ben Ayin. So this is like before the time that the person's strength starts to diminish to 16, 17. What does it say? Mishleshim Koyach. The Bergava says, only Mizedra Muchash Ois by Ben Chamish, as in Gil from Shleshim is the Gevura by mention, but it's a Toikva. We see that person's strength is in his 30s. Yishmael, as it says that his hands wasn't everything. As woman as an elder for Shleshim is there given a keeper. So when he was even higher than 30, he was a very strong person. But that's vegan. So what we're saying that he was 100. He was like Yaakov, even though he was a tzaddik, Legabe Yaakov, he was nothing. Now, when we say 30, 30 is B'Shleshim the Koyach. So we're saying that even though Yishmael was a very, very strong person, Begashmi is from deswegen hat das Yishmael gewurde betref nicht gegen Gvuras Yaakov. Legabe Yaakov's strength, he didn't come close. Or we dashed in the Farshif and Pasuk, that story that by Rachel he took off the stone. So what does Rashi say over there? It says that Yaakov was able to remove the stone, the cork, like a cork, like you move a cork from a wine bottle. To tell us that Yaakov was extremely mighty. Afalpi was dumb, but this is Yaakov given like there's Shashim and Ayin Zayin Shani. He was only how old? 70. Not old, but he was old. He was 77 years old. Now the Inyan Miyuchah from Ben Sheva. So that's, I understand the Kuf and I understand the Lamed. 130. What's the 7? The Inyan Miyuchah from Ben Sheva is verstanden from Kiddush Rashi now by Avram Ben Ayin ke Ben Hey B'Leichet. So we're saying when he was 70, he was like a 5-year-old B'Leichet. As I got cut as a B'Leichet, when he was a child, he didn't have a sin. But he can mean, as in dem Prat is nicht shaykh zu mechalik sein zwischen Yishmael and Yankib. In dem in Yefur Katan and B'Leichet sein ze lechere bide gleich. So, you could say, okay, fine, you got me by the 100. You got me by the 70. 5-year-old, the 5-year-old's a 5-year-old. How can it be mechalik? So what does that ever say? Zok Teira as Oich in dem with Yishmael came batreffend to Gabi Yaakov. That even when he was 5, he didn't. You could already see the chilik between him and Yaakov. While the etzim mitzias from Yaakov is anders from Yishmael. Ben Ha'ama. Yishmael, the fact is, he was Ben Ha'ama. We're going to start a new sikh in a second. I'll post a new one. Ovela is vegan vasfar azaf is that sich, and yet the prat is Yaakov in ganz anders from Yishmael. So this Rashi is telling us that in every single detail, Yaakov was different than Yishmael. Therefore, that's why Rashi doesn't tell us, or what's the reason why Yishmael's years are mentioned. The only reason why it mentions Yishmael's years is to tell us how great Yaakov was.